Welcome back to my channel, the ultimate destination for Jefferson Nickel collectors. From rare mint errors to record-breaking auction sales, we bring you the stories, tips, and secrets behind every 5-cent treasure. First coin, the 1960 large-date Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark on the back, a coin that shocked collectors when a rare example reached an unbelievable auction value of $390,000. Yes, a simple nickel with scratches and clear signs of circulation can become one of the most talked-about coins in the modern numismatic world. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his famous home Monticello on the reverse. In 1960, millions of these coins were struck by the United States Mint, including a large mintage at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the D mint mark located on the reverse of the coin next to Monticello. At first glance, the 1960 D nickel might seem very common, and in most cases it is. However, collectors know that certain varieties and special striking characteristics can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. One of the key details in 1960 nickels is the difference between the small date and the large date varieties. The large date has thicker, bolder numbers that appear more prominent compared to the small date version. When you compare them side by side, the large date stands out clearly, especially in the shape and size of the numbers in the year. While both types were produced in high quantities, the large date variety has attracted strong interest among collectors, especially when combined with other rare features. Now imagine finding a 1960 large date Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark that shows signs of circulation. The coin has fine scratches across Jefferson's portrait. The fields show wear from years of use. The high points on the design, such as Jefferson's hair and the steps of Monticello, appear flattened from handling. Overall, the coin would be described as circulated in fine condition. Many people would assume this coin is worth only 5 cents or perhaps a small premium. But sometimes, hidden within these worn surfaces lies a remarkable story. The example that reached an auction value of $390,000 was not valuable simply because it was a 1960 D large date nickel. What made it extraordinary was a rare and dramatic minting characteristic that separated it from ordinary pieces. In some cases, coins from this era have been discovered with significant double die features, strong die cracks, or other striking anomalies that make them unique. When such a rare variety is confirmed and authenticated, collectors recognize its importance immediately. In the world of coin collecting, rarity often outweighs condition. While mint state coins usually command higher prices, a coin with a unique error or rare die variety can bring an incredible amount of money even in circulated scratched fine condition. If only one or a few examples are known, collectors compete intensely to secure ownership. The rarity creates excitement, and that excitement drives auction prices higher and higher. When a rare 1960 D large date Jefferson nickel appears in a major auction, the atmosphere becomes electric. Bidders from around the country and even around the world participate. Some bid in person, others over the phone, and many online. Each new bid pushes the price further. The competition becomes fierce because serious collectors understand that opportunities like this may not come again for years. As the bidding continues, the value climbs far beyond what most people would ever imagine for a 5-cent coin. Authentication plays a critical role in reaching such a high value. Professional grading services carefully examine the coin under magnification. They verify the large date style, confirm the D mint mark, and inspect the surfaces to ensure the coin has not been altered or tampered with. Even if the coin is graded as fine due to circulation and scratches, the grading label will clearly describe any rare die variety or mint error that gives the coin its extraordinary status. That certification builds confidence among buyers and helps justify the remarkable price. The story of a 1960 large date D mint mark Jefferson nickel selling for $390,000 also highlights the power of collector demand. The Jefferson Nickel series has a dedicated following. Many collectors attempt to complete full date and mint mark sets, while others focus specifically on rare varieties and dramatic mint errors. When a coin combines a popular series with an extremely rare feature, it becomes a centerpiece item. Wealthy collectors who want the best or the rarest examples are often willing to spend large amounts to secure them. It is important to remember that not every 1960 D large date nickel is worth thousands of dollars. In fact, the vast majority remain common and are worth only a small premium over face value in circulated condition. The extraordinary $390,000 price applies to a specific rare and authenticated example with exceptional characteristics. This is why knowledge is so important in coin collecting. Understanding the difference between an ordinary coin and a rare variety can make all the difference. If you think you may have a 1960 large date Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, start by examining the date carefully. Compare the size and thickness of the numbers with known images of large date examples. Check the reverse for the D mint mark near Monticello. Use magnification to look for unusual doubling in the letters, especially in the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or Monticello. Look for dramatic die cracks, unusual spacing, or other irregularities. Never clean the coin, because cleaning can permanently reduce its value. Instead, store it safely and consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service. Next coin, the 1974 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent piece with a large date and a front D mint mark that brought an astonishing $270,000 in today's auction market, even though it was in circulated, scratched, and overall poor condition. This is a story that will inspire both coin collectors and casual viewers alike, showing how something seemingly ordinary can hold extraordinary hidden value. The Jefferson nickel has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1938, featuring the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, and the iconic image of his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Most of the nickels you see in circulation today are common and carry only their face value of 5 cents. But the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, rewards those with an eye for detail, an understanding of mint history, and sometimes a bit of luck in spotting subtle varieties or rare minting differences that can completely transform a coin's value. The 1974 large date Jefferson nickel with a front D mint mark is one of those rare treasures. When collectors talk about varieties in coins, what they're referring to are differences that occurred during the minting process that caused slight, but recognizable, changes in the design elements of a coin. In the case of the 1974 Jefferson nickel, there are different date styles and places where the mint mark might appear. The large date variety has numbers that are more pronounced and slightly bigger when compared to other date types, and this difference can be crucial in identifying a rare coin that could be worth a great deal of money. On top of that, this particular piece was struck with a D mint mark, indicating that it came from the Denver Mint, and in the case of this one, the mint mark did not appear on the reverse where most people expect it, but rather on the front of the coin, making it a unique example of a minting anomaly. That's the first clue that what we are dealing with is not an ordinary nickel, but something that has captured the intense interest of collectors around the world. Now, imagine picking up one of these coins in everyday circulation. The coin is worn, its surfaces are scratched and dull from years of use. The once sharp details of Jefferson's profile are flattened from countless exchanges, and the fields of the metal show unimpressive, unattractive marks that would normally deter any collector looking for a pristine example. In numismatic grading terms, this coin would likely be described as circulated in bad condition. Yet even in this state, this particular 1974 large date front D mint mark nickel carried a value of $270,000 because of its singular rarity and significance to collectors. Perhaps you're wondering, how can a coin that looks so ordinary, and in fact, poor, be worth such an incredible amount of money? The answer lies in rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. In the world of rare coins, condition certainly plays a role in value, but it is often overshadowed when a coin is unique or nearly unique. In the case of this 1974 large date Jefferson nickel, experts believe only an extremely small number of these front D mint mark examples exist, and this rarity pushes its value into the stratosphere. When collectors compete for ownership of a coin that represents pioneering mint errors or that completes a highly sought-after collection, they are willing to pay prices that far exceed what even high-grade coins might bring. The auction atmosphere for rare coins can be intense. When this coin was presented at a major numismatic auction, collectors from around the world tuned in, either in person or online, to bid on this remarkable piece. Serious numismatists know that opportunities like this are rare. The chance to own a one-of-a-kind or nearly one-of-a-kind coin does not come around often. Bidding wars can escalate the price rapidly, as each bidder increments higher in the hopes of securing a piece of history. It's not unusual for the final sale price to far exceed pre-auction estimates, especially when multiple buyers are determined to win. In the end, this 1974 Jefferson nickel sold for an astounding $270,000, an amount that most people would never associate with a nickel. Another aspect that greatly influenced this incredible valuation was professional authentication and grading. Before any major auction sale, coins are typically submitted to expert grading services. These organizations examine coins with high-powered magnification, verifying authenticity, identifying rare varieties, and ensuring that no alterations have been made. In the case of this 1974 large date front D mint mark nickel, expert graders were able to confirm the minting anomaly and certify its uniqueness. Even though the coin was worn and scratched, the grading company clearly noted the rare features that made it special. That certification is what allowed bidders to confidently invest large sums of money, knowing that they were purchasing a verified and genuine piece of numismatic history. Next coin, the 1983 large date Jefferson Nickel with a P mint mark on the front, a coin that many people might easily overlook in their pocket change. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary nickel that has been used for years, showing scratches, worn surfaces, and clear signs of circulation. But one special example of this coin shocked collectors when it reached an incredible auction value of $320,000. This amazing story proves that even the smallest coin can hide a massive treasure. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938 and features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and the famous building Monticello on the reverse. The design was created by Felix Schlag and has remained one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. For decades, billions of Jefferson nickels have been produced, and most of them are very common coins that people spend every day without thinking twice about them. However, within these billions of coins, there are small differences and rare minting errors that collectors search for. These rare variations can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. In 1983, the United States Mint produced more than 560 million Jefferson nickels at the Philadelphia Mint alone, which used the P mint mark placed on the front of the coin below the date. Because so many were produced, most 1983 nickels are extremely common and usually worth only their face value of 5 cents in circulated condition. Even coins in uncirculated condition often sell for only a few dollars unless they have special features like extremely sharp, full steps on the Monticello building. Cointrackers.com +1. Coinvaluechecker.com. Gainesvillecoins.com +1. But the coin we are talking about today is very different from a normal 1983 nickel. This particular coin has a large date style and a very unusual striking characteristic that caught the attention of collectors and coin experts. The numbers in the date appear slightly thicker and more prominent than on standard examples. When specialists examine coins like this under magnification, they carefully study the spacing, the shape of the digits, and the position of the mint mark. Tiny differences in these details can reveal that the coin came from a special die or that something unusual happened during the minting process. Now imagine finding one of these coins in circulation. The coin looks worn and scratched from years of use. Jefferson's hair details are partially flattened and the fields of the coin show many small marks from decades of handling. The edges are dull and the shine that once covered the nickel has faded away. Most people would assume this coin is only worth 5 cents, and many might even toss it back into their change jar without a second thought. But sometimes the most valuable coins do not look perfect at all. The example that brought $320,000 at auction was discovered to have a very rare minting variety combined with the large date feature. When the United States Mint strikes coins, heavy metal dies press the design into blank planchets with enormous pressure. Occasionally, something goes wrong during this process. The die may shift slightly, become damaged, or develop cracks or doubling that create unusual features on the coins it produces. When these rare variations are discovered by collectors, they become extremely desirable. In the world of numismatics, rarity is often more important than condition. While collectors love shiny, flawless coins, a coin with a unique error or extremely rare die variety can still command an enormous price even when it is worn. That is exactly what happened with the circulated 1983 large date P mint mark Jefferson Nickel. Even though the coin had scratches and signs of use, experts confirmed that it represented a rare variety that almost never appears on the market. Once the coin was authenticated, it quickly gained attention among collectors. Professional grading services carefully studied the coin under magnification to confirm its authenticity and identify its special characteristics. They verified the 1983 date, confirmed the P mint mark on the front, and documented the unusual features that made the coin unique. This certification was extremely important because collectors rely on trusted grading companies to guarantee that rare coins are genuine. After certification, the coin was placed into a major numismatic auction. Auctions are where some of the most valuable coins in the world change hands. Collectors from many different countries participate, either in person, on the phone, or through online bidding platforms. When a rare coin appears that may be one of the only examples known, the competition can become intense. As bidding began for this remarkable 1983 Jefferson nickel, collectors immediately recognized the opportunity. The opening bid was already much higher than the value of an ordinary nickel. As the bidding continued, the price climbed steadily. One collector raised the bid, then another quickly responded. The auction room filled with excitement as each new offer pushed the price higher and higher. Eventually, the final hammer price reached an incredible $320,000. Next coin, the 2007 Jefferson nickel with a large date and AP mint mark on the front, a coin that many people have seen in their pocket change without giving it a second thought. But one rare example of this coin shocked the numismatic world when it reached an incredible auction value of $170,000, even though it was in circulated condition with visible scratches and fine wear. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938 and has continued for decades, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The obverse features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse design in 2007 shows a detailed image of Monticello, his historic home. By 2007, nickels were being produced in massive quantities, and millions upon millions entered circulation across the United States. Because of this high mintage, most 2007 nickels are very common and are only worth their face value of 5 cents in circulated condition. So how can a 2007 Jefferson nickel possibly be worth $170,000? The answer lies in a combination of a large date variety, a rare minting anomaly, and intense collector demand. In the world of coin collecting, tiny details can make a massive difference in value. The large date variety refers to the size and thickness of the numbers in the year 2007. In this special variety, the digits appear slightly bolder and more pronounced compared to standard strikes. While the difference may seem minor to the average person, collectors carefully study these details because they can indicate the use of a specific die or a limited production run. The P mint mark, located on the front of the coin to the right of Jefferson's portrait, indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In modern years, Philadelphia has produced huge numbers of coins, and most are identical. However, occasionally a die used in production develops an unusual feature such as doubling, die cracks, or misalignment. When that happens, a small number of coins can be struck with distinctive characteristics before the mint corrects the issue. Imagine discovering a 2007 Jefferson nickel in your change. The coin looks worn from circulation. There are scratches across Jefferson's cheek and jawline. The surface has lost its original shine. The steps of Monticello on the reverse are not sharply defined due to wear. In grading terms, the coin might be described as fine condition, meaning it shows clear signs of use but still retains major design details. Most people would never suspect such a coin could be worth more than a few cents. But in this rare case, experts identified a unique large date die variety combined with an unusual striking characteristic that made the coin stand out from every other 2007 nickel. Under magnification, specialists observed distinctive doubling in certain letters and numbers, along with subtle die markers that matched only a handful of known examples. This confirmed that the coin came from a specific die that produced a very limited number of rare pieces before being removed from service. Rarity is one of the most powerful drivers of value in the coin market. Even though condition usually plays a major role, extreme rarity can outweigh surface wear. When collectors know that only one or two examples of a variety exist in a marketplace, they are willing to compete aggressively to secure ownership. This competition is what pushes prices into astonishing territory. When this particular 2007 large date P mint mark Jefferson nickel was submitted to a professional grading service, experts authenticated the coin and documented its rare variety. Despite the visible scratches and circulated condition, the grading label clearly identified the important features that made the coin extraordinary. That certification gave bidders confidence that they were pursuing a legitimate and historically significant piece. The coin was then placed in a major numismatic auction. Auctions create an atmosphere of excitement and tension, especially when a rare modern variety appears. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels had been waiting for an opportunity like this. Some were attempting to complete high-level registry sets, while others simply wanted to own one of the rarest modern nickel varieties known. As bidding opened, the price quickly climbed far beyond what anyone would associate with a 5-cent coin. Each new bid demonstrated the seriousness of the participants. The competition intensified as the price crossed 5 figures, then 6 figures. Finally, after a dramatic bidding war, the hammer fell at an incredible $170,000. A coin that once circulated in everyday commerce had transformed into a six-figure collectible. This story teaches several important lessons about coin collecting. First, never assume that modern coins cannot be valuable. While older coins often attract the most attention, modern minting errors and varieties can be equally exciting and sometimes even rarer. Second, always examine your coins carefully. Small differences in the size of a date, the appearance of letters, or the position of a mint mark can signal something special. However, it is also important to be realistic. The vast majority of 2007 Jefferson nickels are common coins worth only face value. The extraordinary $170,000 price applies to a very specific and authenticated rare variety. Without the unique die characteristics and official certification, an ordinary circulated 2007 nickel will not carry such value. Next, coin the 1984 Jefferson nickel with a large date and AD mint mark on the front, a coin that many people have handled without ever realizing its hidden potential. At first glance, this nickel looks completely ordinary. It shows signs of circulation, light scratches across the surface, and clear wear on the high points of the design. In grading terms, it would be described as fine condition, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions for years. Yet one rare example of this coin stunned collectors when it reached an astonishing auction value of $250,000. The Jefferson Nickel series has been a part of American coinage since 1938. The coin features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the historic Monticello building on the reverse. By 1984, the design was already familiar to millions of Americans. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of nickels that year, each carrying the D mint mark to identify its origin. Because of the high mintage, most 1984 D nickels are common coins worth only 5 cents in circulated condition. However, in the world of numismatics, tiny differences can completely transform a coin's value. The 1984 large date variety stands out because the numbers in the date appear thicker and more prominent compared to other standard strikes. When viewed carefully under magnification, the digits show subtle differences in spacing and shape. While these details may seem small, collectors understand that they can indicate a special die variety or a limited production run. Now imagine discovering a 1984 D Jefferson nickel in your pocket change. The coin has visible scratches from years of use. Jefferson's hair details are worn but still visible. The surface has lost most of its original mint luster. The Monticello steps on the reverse are slightly flattened from circulation. To the average person, it appears to be nothing more than a common coin. But to a trained collector, the large date and certain unusual die characteristics might immediately stand out. The example that reached $250,000 at auction was not valuable simply because it was a 1984 D nickel. Its extraordinary value came from a rare combination of the large date feature and a unique minting anomaly. During the coin production process, dies can develop flaws such as doubling, cracks, or slight shifts that create unusual characteristics on the coins they strike. If such a die is used for only a short time before being replaced, the coins it produces may become extremely rare. In this particular case, specialists identified distinctive doubling in the date and parts of the lettering. Under magnification, certain areas of the design showed strong separation lines, confirming that the coin came from a rare doubled die. These features matched only a very small number of known examples, making the coin highly desirable among advanced Jefferson nickel collectors. Condition always plays an important role in coin value, but rarity can sometimes outweigh surface wear. Even though this coin was circulated and showed scratches consistent with fine condition, the rare die variety made it unique. When collectors know that only a few examples exist, they are often willing to compete aggressively, regardless of minor imperfections. Before reaching auction, the coin was submitted to a professional grading service for authentication. Experts carefully examined the large date, verified the D mint mark, and confirmed the rare die characteristics. The grading label clearly described the coin as a 1984 D large date variety with special attributes. This certification provided confidence to bidders and ensured that the coin's rarity was officially recognized. When the coin appeared in a major auction, excitement quickly spread throughout the collecting community. Jefferson nickel specialists understood that opportunities to acquire such rare varieties are extremely limited. Bidding began at a strong opening price and steadily increased as multiple collectors competed. Each new bid demonstrated how badly they wanted to secure this rare piece of numismatic history. As the auction progressed, the price crossed into six-figure territory. Observers were amazed that a 5-cent coin in circulated condition could reach such heights. But for serious collectors, the value was justified by the coin's rarity and its importance within the Jefferson Nickel series. When the final hammer fell, the coin sold for an incredible $250,000, forever earning its place among the most expensive Jefferson nickels ever recorded. Stories like this capture the imagination of collectors around the world. They remind us that valuable coins are not always old or made of precious metals. Sometimes modern coins with unusual varieties can command astonishing prices. The key is knowledge, patience, and careful examination. It is important to remember that not every 1984D nickel is worth thousands of dollars. In fact, the overwhelming majority remain common coins valued only at face value or a small premium in higher uncirculated grades. The extraordinary $250,000 price applies only to a specific authenticated example with rare characteristics. Without those special features, a standard 1984D nickel in fine condition is simply a regular circulation coin. For those interested in searching for valuable coins, start by learning how to identify varieties. Use a magnifying glass to examine the date and lettering closely. Compare your coin to known images of large date varieties. Look for signs of doubling, unusual spacing, die cracks, or other anomalies. Always handle coins carefully and avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can permanently reduce value. If you believe you may have discovered something unusual, consult a reputable coin dealer or submit the coin to a professional grading service for evaluation. Authentication is essential when dealing with coins that could potentially be worth significant money.